70 million square miles of the Pacific, United States engineers are building secret bases to strike at Japan. No military secret, the news, but where has the Japs puzzled? Today, on islands that once held promise of paradise, U.S. Blue Jackets go about the grim business of war. Ferrying fighter planes ashore, scout planes and bombers concealed and camouflaged amid the palms of the island. Moving in with plenty of aviation gasoline, oil, and supplies. All the necessary equipment for invasion or defense. Wading waist deep in tropical waters, they chart a base for seaplanes. Ashore, giant tractors blaze clearings among the palms. Here come the big guns, and they're soon made ready for action. Patrolling the strongholds from which the United Nations plan their offensive against Japan. Filmed under fire, these are the first pictures of America's great naval victory in the Pacific. Army, Navy, and Marine planes, cooperating with the fleet, surprise a Jap invasion force sent to capture strategic Midway Island, stepping stone to Hawaii and the North American continent. U.S. planes roaring to the attack amid a rain of anti-aircraft fire. Blazing enemy cruiser fatally hit, maneuvering to get away. Dazed by the unexpected sea and air assault, the Japs seek desperately to escape. The toll, 18 Japanese ships, cruisers, carriers, and destroyers, crippled like this or sent to the bottom. A blow more than equal to the defeat Japan suffered in the Battle of the Coral Sea. Back in port, Admiral Nimitz, who directed the action, bestows medals for deeds of valor. They fought the strangest naval battle in history, a battle in which the ships were hundreds of miles apart. The stories told by these hero pilots may rewrite all textbooks on naval warfare. They proved again and again that warplanes can blast battleships and transports. In one epic engagement, these men upset the balance of power in the Pacific. From platforms built to duplicate decks of troop transports, United States Marines rehearse invasion tactics they've already been called upon to use. Scrambling down cargo nets into assault boats, they go to establish bridgeheads upon some enemy beach. Soldiers of land, sea, and air, theirs is the tradition, first to fight, a role they've played for 165 years. Called the most versatile troops in the world, they bring their own tanks ashore, perfecting the technique of mechanized warfare under battle conditions similar to their landings in the Pacific. Marines have landed have a special significance. For somewhere in the South Pacific, Navy transports are nosing their way, armed to the teeth, anti-aircraft guns on the alert, decks loaded with those same United States Marines, ready now for real action. Transporting supplies and equipment thousands of miles from their home bases. Their immediate objective, strategic outposts on the road to Australia. After months of training in just this sort of landing operation, the Marines set the stage for the attack that put the Japanese on the defensive. Welcomed by young and old alike, the Devil Dogs, as they're called, are at home in any climate. Admiral Byrd, the famous American polar explorer, is with the landing party as ancient tribal chieftains come to greet the officers. Every modern device is used to speed the unloading. For peaceful though this tropical paradise may appear, this is a vital theater of war in the Pacific. Today, garrisoning their bases for the first American offensive of the war, the Marines are living up to the tradition of the Corps, always first to fight. Somewhere in California, the first All-Filipino regiment in the U.S. Army. Newly recruited, these grim, determined sons of the Philippines march with but a single purpose in life, to avenge their brothers who fought and died for General MacArthur. With their own Major Fajardo second in command, these adopted sons of America prove able soldiers. In small patrols, they quickly learn the tactics of modern warfare. Emerging from foxholes like those in which perished the heroes of Bataan, they prove born fighters, eager for action. Swinging the dreaded bolo knives of the Philippine jungle, they work for the day when they will help free their homeland from the invader. Flying Tigers, the famous American volunteer group, wing their way across China for the last time as volunteers. For 8 months, these Chinese signs have been the only insignia of the most spectacular and efficient fighting force in aviation history. Now, wearing the emblem of their native land, the U.S. Air Force, they become regular officers with American flying forces fighting in China. A Jap flag for every plane shot down, 200 in less than 4 months. Leader of the volunteers, Brigadier General Chenot, now promoted to command all American flying forces in China. Here he outlines the field of operations. With flags and souvenirs, a grateful Chinese people pay simple tribute to the airmen who have done so much to clear the skies over their embattled land. Clearing the skies for much-needed supplies. Supplies which in turn are exchanged for the valuable raw products of China. Losing no time, the new command plots the strategy of attack. By an elaborate far-flung system of Chinese listening posts, word is flashed, Japanese planes on the way, and the red ball goes up over the field. Signal for pilots to take to their ships. The Flying Tigers going into action for the first time in the uniforms of Uncle Sam. Newly assigned pilots go with the veterans. Schooled in the fighting tactics, Chenot has proven superior. Roaring aloft, they seek the enemy, their flying generals still at the controls. The new American Air Force over China, carrying on the tradition of the famous Flying Tigers. American bombers assemble at a secret airdrome somewhere along the northern tip of Australia. The order of the day, attack. General Royce and General Scanlon in command. One by one, the huge ships take off. Weeks of planning, months of training, now put to the test. Fast pursuit planes roar down the strip and zoom aloft at incredible speed. These are the fighters of the air fleet. Daily they go up, and daily they land. From the looks of the bullet holes, some of them have made contact with the enemy. Battle scars that show that American ships are built to take plenty of punishment. Credited with staving off the invasion of Australia, these young pilots know their business. Here's one coming in now. His landing gear jammed by Japanese bullets. He's forced to make a crash landing. Dangerous with any ship, doubly so with a bomber. And he does a perfect job. All hands aboard safe and sound. The pilot is congratulated by the general and mentioned in official dispatches. Only a few repairs are necessary, and the ship will soon be ready to fly again. A thrilling example of how American airmen are rapidly winning the mastery of the skies.